નમસ્કાર વિદ્યાર્થી મિત્રો, આજના આ સ્ટેટિસ્ટિક્સના સેશનમાં આપ સૌનું સ્વાગત છે. ગયા સેશનમાં આપણે કન્ટિન્યુઅસ ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુશન્સ વિશેની સમજ કેળવી અને એમાં ઘણા બધા કન્ટિન્યુઅસ ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુશનની પણ ચર્ચા કરી, એના ઉપયોગો વિશે પણ આપણે જાણ્યું, જેમાં ખાસ કરીને યુનિફોર્મ ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુશન, રેક્ટેન્ગ્યુલર ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુશન, બીટા ટાઈપ 1, 2, એક્સપોનેન્શિયલ, ગામા અને કાઈ સ્ક્વેરની થોડીક વિગતો આપણે આપી અને કદાચ તમને એ ઉપયોગી નીવડી હશે. એ જ પ્રમાણે આજના આ સેશનમાં આપણે નોર્મલ ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુશન, એના ઉપયોગો, એની કેરેક્ટરિસ્ટિક્સ વગેરે ઉપર ચર્ચા કરવાના છીએ. અને સ્ટુડિયોમાં એ માટે આપણી સાથે પ્રોફેસર એસી શાહ, જે મારી બાજુમાં બેઠા છે, અને વિદ્યાનગરથી આવેલા અંકિતભાઈ સિનોજિયા, એ આપણને નોર્મલ ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુશન વિશે વધારે માહિતી આપશે. પ્રોફેસર શાહ સાહેબ છેલ્લા 28-30 વર્ષથી ભાવનગરની સર પીપી ઇન્સ્ટિટ્યૂટમાં આંકડાશાસ્ત્રના અધ્યાપક તરીકે સેવાઓ આપે છે. તો આપણે એમના તરફથી આ નોર્મલ ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુશન શું છે, એની ઉત્પત્તિ, એની જેનેસિસ શું છે, એના વિશે સમજશું. પણ એ પહેલાં થોડીક ઇન્ટ્રોડક્શન હું એ માટે આપી દઉં, એક પૂર્વ ભૂમિકા તરીકે. તો એક ફ્રેન્ચ ફિઝિસિસ્ટે સાચું જ કીધું છે કે એવરીબડી બિલીવ્સ ઇન ધી નોર્મલ એપ્રોક્સિમેશન. The experimenter believes because they think it is a mathematical theorem, and mathematicians believe that it is the experimental fact. અને આ જ કંઈક પૂર્વ ભૂમિકા સાથે આ નોર્મલ ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુશનનો અસ્તિત્વ ઉદ્ભવ્યું એવું હું કહી શકીશ, તો એમાં કંઈ ખોટું નહીં હોય. ડ્યુરિંગ 17th century, સ્વિસ મેથેમેટિશિયન જેમ્સ બર્નોલી, તમે જે બર્નોલી ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુશન ડિસ્ક્રીટ કેસમાં જોયા એની આ થોડીક વાત છે, succeeded in giving the rigorous proof of the law of averages. And according to him, if a coin is tossed a large number of times, it lands heads will be closer to the value 50%, which is with the high probability. And this finding was remained unaltered for almost 20 years. Then after, in 1733, De Moivre has developed and introduced a new concept, and on the basis of that he showed that binomial distribution was a very closer to the normal approximation. And on the same line, ગોસ, જેણે નોર્મલ ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુશન, નોર્મલ કર્વનો એસ્ટ્રોનોમીમાં ખૂબ જ મોટા પ્રમાણમાં ઉપયોગ કર્યો, અને ખાસ કરીને જે ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુશન ઓફ એરર્સ છે એના વિશેની એને જે સમજ આપી અને નોર્મલ ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુશનનો ઉપયોગ એમાં કર્યો, એ વિશે આપણે વધુ વિગતો દ્વારા પ્રોફેસર એસી શાહ સાહેબ પાસેથી સમજશું. તો શાહ સાહેબને હું વિનંતી કરીશ કે એમનું આગળ નોર્મલ ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુશન વિશે માહિતી કંઈક આપણને આપે.
થેન્ક યુ સર.
અને સાથે સાથે આપણે સ્લાઇડ પણ જોતા જઈશું, એટલે જ્યારે પણ સ્લાઇડની આવશ્યકતા હશે ત્યારે આપણે કેમેરા દ્વારા સ્લાઇડ પણ જોઈશું અને સાહેબને પણ સાંભળશું.
My dear students of statistics across all science colleges in Gujarat, I will first of all congratulate you for selecting a very fascinating field of statistics. Statistics is really highly applicable science, and there are many applications across many areas. Normal distribution is a very prominent distribution, and we start with the first slide. Let us see. This is our institute, Sir BP Institute of Science, where I come from. Now, my dear students, in probability and statistics, there are two types of random variables. Now, there is a difference between variable, simple variable of mathematics and random variable. You know that random variable takes values or assumes values with a probability concept. So, actually, statistics is built around uncertainty, where probability comes into picture. So, random variable is a variable. In fact, it is a function which is defined on a sample space that you perhaps know. Okay, so there are two types of variables, random variables, discrete and continuous. For example, I will give you a very straight example. For discrete random variable, say if you visit different families in a certain area, and if you ask every family how many children are there, so number of children will be 0 or 1 or 2 or 3. It cannot be fractional. So that is discrete. While if you consider, if you make the study of heights of students or heights of soldiers in a battalion, that you see that height can take any value inside a real interval. So that is a continuous variable. So there are probability models developed for discrete variables, and there are also very good probability models designed for continuous random variables. For continuous random variables, we have several distributions, as just Gajar sir told you: uniform distribution, exponential, gamma. But the prominent distribution in continuous case is normal distribution, because of its applicability in a variety of situations in real life. So you can see the curve on the first slide. It's a bell-shaped curve. If you consider the heights of any person, see the lower side, there will be few persons. There will be many persons in the center of the curve, and there will be very few with high eyesight. That is, with
towards the
with a
axis.
tall persons. They will be also very few. Okay, let us now go to the first slide. A random variable whose space is countable or finite is discrete. This is the technical definition of discrete variable. And for continuous, there are some lines you can see whose space is uncountably infinite, that is called continuous. Okay, next slide. Now, basic difference between discrete and continuous random variables is, for discrete random variable you can find probability for a random variable takes a particular value, while for continuous case we cannot find probability of a variable taking a particular value. If you put, suppose fx is the probability density function, if you put x equal to a, you will get the length of the ordinate. That will be clear in the next slide, perhaps, or still next. Okay. Now, fx is qualifies to become a probability density function if it satisfies two conditions. It must be greater than or equal to 0 for all values of x, real values, and probability that random variable x takes any particular, x takes any interval value in a value in an interval, that is a b. Probability that a less than x less than b, you can find it out using integrating the function fx over the range a to b. It's a definite integral. So geometrically you can see on the slide that it is the area under the curve fx between the two ordinates, one at x equal to a and other at x equal to b. So that way, in case of continuous random variables and continuous probability density function, it is meaningful if you want to find probability of an interval. This is the basic difference between discrete case and continuous case. Okay. Now next slide please. Normal distribution is very prominent, as I have told you, continuous model. You can apply it in a variety of situations, a variety of sciences. Several applications are there in physical sciences, in biological sciences, in economics, in commerce and industries, and also in behavioral sciences like education, etc., psychology, sociology, etc. So if you, let us go to the history of normal distribution. Normal distribution was investigated in the 18th century when scientists worked in the field of astrophysics. Prominent among them was Gauss, and I will tell you something about Gauss also. Gauss was a French man, and he was the son of a peasant, a very poor peasant. And at the age of 3, Gauss, and we can see the picture of Gauss also. It is on the extreme left. Gauss, there is a note on which the picture of Gauss is there. He was a German person and very well known. He has contributed in several areas. But if you see his childhood, at the age of 3, he mentioned a mistake in the calculation of his father. His father was a peasant, and he was very brilliant from his childhood, and therefore his father was persuaded to let him study. Although they could not afford, although they could not afford the education of gas, but still he was persuaded, and he was born in Brunswick County in Germany, Brunswick County. The Chancellor of Brunswick gave him a scholarship so that he could learn in high school and college. And at the age of 18, he proved a very fundamental theorem of algebra. He has contributed in the field of astrophysics also, and moreover he has contributed in the field of statistics. Actually, by way of two contributions are there. One is normal distribution. He has made very fundamental work in the field of normal distribution, and the other is method of least squares. Method of least squares is also due to Gauss. The other two are Laplace and De Morgan. Their pictures are also there. You can see on the slide. They have also worked in this field, normal distribution. Okay. Now I will explain something on the board also. Next slide, please. So Carl Gauss undertook the fundamental work with the normal distribution, and the form of the definition of the normal distribution. As you can see on the slide, that fx equal to 1 upon sigma root 2 pi e raised to minus x minus mu whole square upon 2 sigma square. In fact, x is the variable, normal variable, and mu and sigma are two statistical parameters. These two, pi and e, are mathematical constants, and the variable can take any value on the real line. And these two parameters, mu can take any value from minus infinity to infinity, and sigma is strictly positive. Sigma is strictly positive. So, in fact, this is the format of normal distribution. It is continuous, and if you draw the curve, you can draw the curve provided you know mu and sigma. If you know mu and sigma, this distribution is totally specified, and computer can also plot the graph, and it is a very bell-shaped ideal curve, where you can see that this is actually the graph of fx. This can be drawn provided you know mu and sigma, and mu is the center. The highest ordinate, you can see it occurs at mu, highest ordinate. Now these values, actually theoretically it can take any value from minus infinity to plus infinity, but practically speaking, most of the area is covered between mu minus 3 sigma and mu plus 3 sigma. Now we will see in the properties also that mu will be the mean of the normal distribution, and sigma is nothing but the standard deviation. Okay, so practically speaking, most of the area of this curve is covered between these two, mu minus 3 sigma and mu plus 3 sigma. Right? Theoretically it runs from minus infinity to infinity. Okay. Now the next property we will see on the slide. The normal distribution is a continuous probability model. It has two parameters, as I have told you. The graph is also there. The maximum ordinate is this one, and this occurs at x equal to mu. And if you put x equal to mu in the formula, you will get 1 upon sigma into root 2 pi. So maximum ordinate, fx maximum value of fx is 1 upon sigma root 2 pi. Okay, the next property is, okay, it is symmetric. As you can see, symmetricity concept has been explained. Suppose you go distance t on the right side, say mu plus t. and the same distance on the left side of mu, that is mu minus t. Now these two, as you can see on the graph there on the slide, that f of mu plus t, this is in fact f of mu plus t. F of mu plus t, substitute x equal to mu plus t in the formula and you will get a result, and substitute x equal to mu minus t in this formula and you will get the result. Both will be exactly equal, and therefore you can see that these two ordinates are same. The curve is bell shaped. I think, my dear students, you must have seen the bronze bell in your college. If you cut that bell from the middle and if you put it on a desk and if you make an outline, it seems like this. It's exactly bell shaped. It is very symmetric, and symmetricity concept is this: whatever distance you go on the right side, same distance you go on the left side, the two ordinates, means the two sticks, will be exactly same. That's the symmetricity concept. The next characteristic will be, so population mean, median and mode of normal distribution, they are identical and they are same, and the same value is mu. Of course, the mean, etc., median, etc., we can compute and they all come out to be equal to mu. Okay. Now median means, mu means what? The half portion, this the curve is divided exactly